Hi guys, welcome. I hope you're all doing good and I hope your preparation is right on track. This is the time where you give equal emphasis on your health as well as studies. And when I say health, it is not only physical health but also mental health. So sleep good, eat good and meditate. Now today's video is mainly to talk about a few CSAT strategies and a few CSAT myths that you people have in your mind. The reason why I'm doing this video is recently the CSC Prelims 2023 Prelims cutoff was announced and the cutoff for the general merit was 75.41 and it is one of the lowest in so many years, and the reason, one of the main reason for it is the difficulty of CSAT paper. Now this difficulty is somehow created anxiety in many of my students. They run with some preconceived notions in their mind and that is affecting their performance. So this video is mainly to give you a strategy regarding your CSAT paper so that you can excel in the paper and reach the requisite benchmark. So let us go ahead and discuss the exact strategy and exact mindset that you need to have in order to excel in this CSAT paper of CSC Prelims 2024. First thing first. The first is, in the CSAT paper, there are 4 sections. If you can observe, there is basic numeracy, there is quantitative aptitude, there is logical reasoning, and then there is reading comprehension. Now, all the 4 sections are important. Let this go in your mind. Now, a person who is jack of all and master of none in all the 4 sections has a better probability of excelling rather than a person who comes and tells me that I'm really strong in quantitative aptitude or really strong in reading comprehension. So, please don't overemphasize on one section and neglect other sections. Make sure that you have worked a few set of problems in all the 4 sections. Now, if you observe these 4 sections, each of the 4 sections requires some skill set that you need to develop. If you have that skill set, that is more than enough. Okay. The first is if you take basic numeracy. Now, basic numeracy adds some conceptual understanding that you need to understand. For example, you need to know what are real numbers, what are integers, what are natural numbers. You need to know what is an HCF and LCM and how to find out HCM and LCM. You need to have some amount of idea about divisibility rules or different types of rules and formulas. So when it comes to basic numeracy, you should just understand the concepts, write down the rules and formulas, and that will help you to actually work out the problems in the exam. The second is quantitative aptitude. Now quantitative aptitude has several units like time and distance, time and work, and averages and so on. Now the game here is not to be a master in one concept but to be a jack of all in all the concepts. So what you need to do is have around 15 to 20 worked examples that you have solved in every chapter of quantitative aptitude. After you have solved the worked examples, just solve the mock tests. Don't keep trying to gain expertise in one particular concept like averages or time and work, but overall try to develop that quantitative aptitude kind of a mindset by solving more questions on quantitative aptitude rather than working out only one specific chapter within the quantitative aptitude like averages or time and distance. What I'm trying to tell you is, don't try to work out 100 different types of problems in time and distance, 100 different types of problem in time and work. This is not a correct strategy. Instead of that, do 15 to 20 problems, worked examples on every unit within the quantitative aptitude. After that, make sure that you solve a lot of questions that is a mix of all the chapters within the quantitative aptitude. Now, let us say that you solved 25 questions of quantitative aptitude in a mock test. In the 25 questions, let us say that you are scoring around 12 to 13 questions out of 25. That means that you are good. That is enough. 50% of the questions if you are able to solve in quantitative aptitude, that is good enough. Don't try to achieve that perfection of solving all the 25. The second thing I want to say in quantitative aptitude is, let us say you solved the mock test 1 and there was 25 quantitative aptitude questions. In those questions, you were not able to solve averages, but you were able to solve time and distance. Okay, don't worry about it. In the next quantitative aptitude set of questions in the next mock test, there you may be able to solve time and distance and averages, but you may not be able to solve time and work. So within the sample size of 25 questions, it doesn't really matter what you're not able to solve. Though it is your favorite area, you may not be able to solve. That should not be the focus area. The focus area within quantitative aptitude is, if there are 25 set of questions that come in the test from quantitative aptitude, The game is to score 12 out of 25. That is, at least 50% of the questions of quantitative aptitude I am able to solve. So in that test, I am able to solve averages but not time and distance, not an issue. In the other test, I am able to solve time and distance and not the averages, not an issue. The game here is, within the cohort of 25 questions, you should solve 12 questions. Okay? And if you just go through all the 25 questions, you will be able to solve 12 questions with a normal basic understanding of 15 to 20 worked examples in all the units under quantitative aptitude. So please don't overdo it. I've seen many people working out so much of detail within one chapter that if you take averages, they're trying to build vertical competency. They're trying to solve greater and greater complicated problems within that unit. Don't do this. Develop horizontal competency in quantitative aptitude and solve a lot of tests. And as I told you, in the test, the cohort of 25 questions, you should just be able to solve 12 questions, and that itself is more than enough. So that is the strategy for quantitative aptitude. The next comes the reading comprehension. Within the reading comprehension, the game here is you should have the competency to read 25 comprehensions within 40 minutes. This is very, very rigid, but I am purposely giving you this benchmark so that you solve it. 25 comprehensions within 40 minutes. If you develop that, if you keep practicing that, no one can stop you. Now, here there are two things that you should keep in mind. It not only means that you read faster, it also means that you comprehend faster. So both the things have to go hand in hand. You have to read also, you have to understand also very fast. The best way is first read the questions and then go to the comprehension, because that will give you an idea of what to look for in the comprehension. However, you have to develop the speed of reading as well as comprehending, and that will come with a lot of practice. So keep a time limit and keep practicing it. That is the trick for reading comprehension. The next is the logical reasoning. See, logical reasoning is all about muscle memory. If you have practiced around 15 different problems on blood relations, let them ask anything, you are going to get blood relations right. If you have practiced 15 to 20 problems on seating arrangement, let them ask you any question on seating arrangement, you are going to get it right. If you have practiced 20 problems on syllogism, then let them ask any question on syllogism, you are going to get it right. So the game of logical reasoning is practice. Practice many different sets of examples. It is only the muscle memory. If you have practiced that muscle memory, the muscle memory will help you there also to do it. But one thing you should keep in mind in logical reasoning is the English. Make sure that you understand what they are trying to tell. When they are telling that that person is seated 3 rows right, 3 rows left, you should be very, very well versed with that English. Many people will not understand the English. They'll go wrong in identifying that English, and then they'll not be able to deduce the answer. So please keep an eye on the English that is there in logical reasoning. Okay. So as I told you, these are the 4 sections. Each of the 4 sections requires you to develop different skill sets, and these skill sets are what will help you to clear the exam, provided that you are a jack of all and master of none in all the 4 sections. So I hope you understood the strategy. The strategy is to be average student in all the 4 sections. Enjoy all the 4 sections. Remove that paraphernalia or that prejudice that is there in your head that I am strong in this, I am weak in this. Because I've seen 2 sets of students, both are doing it wrong. One set of students is either overly dependent on one section. For example, many of my students think that they are good in English, so they can bank upon reading comprehension. Many of my students come from engineering, so they think that they can bank upon the mathematics, that is quantitative aptitude. This is also wrong. Many of my students who are not from science background, what they do is they overly practice on quantitative aptitude because they have a fear of maths. So the entire 6 months, they will work only on quantitative aptitude, neglecting all the other sections. Both these group of students are following a wrong strategy. The strategy is very simple. Make sure that you are good, not even good, you are average in all the 4 sections, and you can clear the benchmark that is set in CSAT paper. So I hope you understood the strategy very, very well. Okay. Now, the next guideline that I want to give is time in CSAT paper plays a very, very critical role. What I mean is, if you take the same questions given in UPSC, sit at the luxury of your house and work it out, everyone will get most of the answers that is given in the CSAT paper. But when I put you in the exam-like conditions, when I fix the time span within which you have to solve the questions, that is where a lot of students will fail, because now they have the pressure of time. So the trick here is how to get that extra time to solve the questions. For this, you should have a very well cut out strategy. And this is where I am going to tell you an effective way to develop that time management skill in CSAT. Do this in your mock test. Only if you do this in your mock test can you replicate the same time management skill in your main exam as well. The strategy is very simple. So you have 80 questions and then you have 120 minutes. I would like to, this is the strategy that I would like to tell. The strategy is very simple. There will be 25 to 28 reading comprehensions. I want you to finish the 25 to 28 reading comprehensions in 50 minutes. In 50 minutes, finish the 28 reading comprehensions. Now, once you do that, it will give you a sense of security that I am going in the right direction. I have had enough amount of exposure to good questions. I have marked those questions. So if I get a few more questions right, I'll be in. So that confidence will help you to sit calmly and then work out the other problems. So in the first 50 minutes, finish the entire reading comprehension of 25 to 28 questions. Okay, now 50 minutes is gone. The rest, you have 70 minutes left. In the rest of the 70 minutes, I want you to solve 35 problems. In rest of the 70 minutes, I want you to solve 35 problems. So 35 problems plus 28 reading comprehensions should give you a total attempted questions of 63. Keep the 63 in your mind. In the mock test, whenever you solve CSAT paper and come out, you should tell me that you're solving 63 questions or somewhere nearby that. You cannot say that I solved only 40 questions. I banged on accuracy and only solved 30 to 35 questions. Don't do that. Please make sure that you solve up to 60 questions, develop that speed to solve 60 questions, and only then will you be exposed to all that simple questions that will be sprinkled from 1 question to 80. You don't know where the simple questions are clustered. If you keep a strategy of solving only 30 questions, what if you miss out on the easy questions at the end? Your job is to expose yourself to as many problems as possible so that you can catch the easy problems and solve them. And that will happen only if you develop the habit to solve questions up to at least 60. So please make sure that 1. Finish the reading comprehension, the 28 questions within the 50 minutes. The remaining 70 minutes, solve the next 35 problems. So 35 problems, 70 minutes means one problem you will get maximum 2 minutes. This is where your skill to handle your temptation come in. Whenever you're solving, give that problem 2 minutes. And I would also tell, the moment you're reading the question only, you will get to know that you can solve it or not. The moment you're reading the question, take a call. This question appears too complicated. Skip it and go to the next one. This question has so many variables. I'm getting confused. Skip it and go to the next one. Okay, so, but don't skip those questions feeling that this is not my area of expertise. That's a wrong way to think. Understanding this, there is nothing called your area of expertise, your area of weaknesses. All the 4 sections are important and you are an average student in all the 4 sections. So don't have any type of prejudices thinking that I'm weak in this, so I will skip this. That is wrong. Okay, now each question you will have 2 minutes. So in that 2 minutes, try to work out the problem. If that problem is taking time, don't let your ego decide there. Under any circumstances, let whatever your ego tell. It is okay if you have invested 2 minutes. If it is okay if you feel that if you give 1 more minute, you will get the answer. Jump to the next one. This is the skill that is very, very importantly needed. This tests how much you can resist your temptations. This tests your exact patience and your decisiveness. You will not fall for that expectation that if you give 1 more minute, you'll get the answer. You may get, you may not get, but that will only build up more anxiety. Let us say you took 5 minutes to solve 1 question. You got the answer. You will not be happy. You will be even more anxious because you are now wasted too much time on that. That anxiety will build up on the next problem. Now the next problem, though is a very easy problem, will appear difficult because you have wasted too much time on that previous problem. I hope you are understanding this. And this difficulty will build up exponentially in your mind, though the question paper is easy. Now this is the exactness why most of my students are getting less marks in CSAT paper. So 35 questions in 70 minutes. Practice this in your mock test. In your mock test, every time you take a test, alright, you have to come very, very close to 63 questions that you have attempted. If you do this on a regular basis, you are going to clear CSAT and no one is going to stop you. So I hope you got the strategy very clearly, and I hope you got a very effective time management skill to work upon. Do this, and I want you to write CSAT mock tests on every third day from today. Okay, I want you to minimum, if you are weak, then do it every second day. If you are average or good, do it every third day. A full length test. Gone are the days where I tell you to do 40 questions per hour. It is gone now. Take a full length test, solve it every second day. If you are good, solve it every third day. Okay, and do this and apply the strategy that I've told you. And whenever you're doing the CSAT paper, sit like exam-like conditions and bubble, because that bubbling itself will eat away another 5 to 7 minutes in your exam hall. So you have to account for that particular time in your exam as well. So please do that as well. Okay. And the next thing that I want you to know is, don't search for easy problems looking at the paper. Just by looking at the question, you will not understand that the question is easy or not. Only by working out, you will understand that it is easy or not. Yes, there will be a few questions you will understand it's very difficult. That you can skip. But just by reading the question, you will not be able to identify it is an easy problem. Work it out. If you get the answer, it is good. Otherwise, skip it and go next. Many students of mine will take the paper and search for logical reasoning questions. That is not a prudent idea at all. So please don't do that. Okay. And the next is, as much as possible, try to shed your ego. Okay. Don't let your ego make the decisions there. Most of the students do this mistake, sit in the same problem and try to work it out to get the answer. They will get the answer, but the problem is the damage is already done. Once the damage is done, once you've wasted most of the minutes in one problem, you will not be able to make it up as you go solving the other problems. So please don't heed to your ego. And the next and the last thing is the attitude. Don't carry any type of prejudices. If you may be an engineering graduate, you may be very, very good in English, you may be a commerce graduate, you may be very weak in maths in your school days, it really doesn't matter. What matters is go with a calm mind, sit and properly manage your time. If you manage your time, you will get the answers. It is not even about the content, it is the time here. If you can manage this properly, you will win this game of CSAT. So this is the strategy that I wanted to discuss with all of you. I hope that you will apply this strategy. I hope every student of mine who comes out of the CSAT paper in your mock tests are solving close to 60 questions. This is a must. Practice this in your mock tests. I hope it was helpful, guys. I'll come up with more videos to help you out for your prelims exam. Until then, thank you so much. Bye.